Good evening. We're back. Denny Bucher, candidate-elect for Craven County Commissioner District 7. You've been a busy man.
Yeah, it's been a little busy the last few weeks.
So what kind of reception? I know he's been going door to door. You've probably seen him. You've had some ads running, getting some good reception.
Yeah, getting good feedback on the ads. I got several people today commented. The 3 weeks that we've done this, I've had a number of responses to that. Knocking on doors is always interesting. It's interesting how many people don't answer the door. I think so many women are working today that the house is empty. And about 5 o'clock, then you start getting a little more activity and people come to the door. But I would say at least 50 to 75% of the doors that I ring the doorbell, nobody comes to the door.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot different from 30 years ago.
Yes, yeah.
So we're going to answer a few more questions that we haven't tackled in the last 4 weeks. This is the final interview before you get a chance to vote. And let's say that you've got 5 days before the election.
Well, yeah, I guess you'd say that. The fifth day is the election day. There's Friday and Saturday you can still early vote. Sunday, no. Monday, no. And then Tuesday is the actual election day. So tomorrow 7 to 7. Saturday, I believe it's 8 to 1 downtown. Mm-hmm. And then Sunday and Monday are off.
Okay, well, let's get right to it. What do you see is the most pressing needs for infrastructure in Craven County?
I think one of the biggest quantities of facilities we have are schools. Mm-hmm. And I haven't been inside the schools. Years ago, I was in every school. And I think some of the schools are relatively new and in good shape. Some of our schools are quite elderly. And probably there's some needs there. And I think the storm just made that worse because a lot of schools were shut down for weeks, a lot of roof leaks. We need to put some new roofs on a number of schools. And I just think in total, that's probably our biggest need. It
gets forgotten.
Yeah, and I think people think, well, it's just schools, but hey, this is really important. Our education of our children is one of the top priorities in my mind. If we want to grow in this county and we want to bring in businesses, schools are important. Mm-hmm. If you're going to bring in a corporation, one of the things they want to know is what kind of quality schools do you have for our executives, for our employees. So. And what kind of kids are you turning out to work in our facilities? Do we have a workforce that can step up and fill our needs? And so that's a big question on the mind of people mm-hmm. who want to locate a business.
Leads right into the next question. Should the county be encouraging building and development?
I guess it depends on who you ask. There are people who would like things to say just as they are, and that's not realistic.
No.
We need to grow. We need to have smart growth. We don't need to have crazy wild growth, but we need to always be looking for how are we going to employ our citizens. And as some jobs go away, that's just part of the natural flow of life. Yeah. Some businesses close, some jobs go away. We've got to be bringing in new business to take their place. My business background has always been an interest. I've always had an interest in business and building businesses and growing businesses. So I think that'll be one of my priorities, one of the things that I'm going to be focused on more than maybe than any other area in my time as a commissioner if I'm elected.
Okay. Should any part of the county budget be shielded from cuts? And if so, which area?
Every department manager, everybody that submits a budget to the county would say my area should be shielded. Nobody wants a cut, but there may be a time when we have to reduce some costs. If I were going to say there are some areas that I don't think we should be reducing costs would be our public safety, our sheriff's department. I don't think we should be reducing how much money we spend there. Maybe we need more efficiencies there, and that's another subject that I don't have time to get into. I think we can be more efficient in our sheriff's department, but I don't envision ever reducing the amount of money we spend there. The other thing, we have a great, and I mentioned this I think last week, we really are fortunate in our county. We have a bunch of volunteer firefighters. In District 7, there are about 65 firefighters that volunteer their time 100%. All they ask is that we provide them with equipment, buildings, and fuel, etc., so they can do their job. So I would be really hard pressed to ever think we should reduce that budget.
I agree. So everybody wants to know about taxes. Are county taxes too high, about right, pleasantly low?
Yes. Nobody wants to pay more taxes. One of my goals will be, how do we keep our taxes where they are? By more efficiency, not by cuts, but keeping in mind that you can't keep people's salary the same forever. Keeping good people, you have to pay them. They expect to keep up with the cost of living. So I would never ever make the statement, look, I will never vote for a tax increase. My goal would be not to have a tax increase. Realistically, our county taxes are among the lowest in the state. Our tax rate is in the bottom fourth of all counties. So if you live in 3/4 of the counties in the state, you're going to have a higher tax rate than we do. So right now our taxes are pleasant. I think you said pleasantly low.
Pleasantly low.
Yeah, I think they're pleasantly low. And in fact, I had a guy today tell me that he moved here from, I think he said Maryland, and you can relate to this. He said, I can't believe how much less expensive it is to live here. He said it's 40% cheaper here than it is in Maryland. I had another guy today tell me he moved here from Hawaii. He retired here. And he was Hawaiian. He was not somebody who had moved over there. He grew up there. When I left his house, he said, aloha. He told me that he couldn't afford to retire in Hawaii, and he said it is really inexpensive to live here. So while people that have been here their whole life may not view that, if they go to many other parts of the country, as I've lived in many places, it's a lot more expensive than it is here. So I think our taxes are pleasantly low right now, and the goal would be to try to keep them there.
Mm-hmm. What's your experience with preparing or authorizing budgets?
In my corporate years with Bridgestone, budgets were a fact of life. Every year we required each entity to present us a budget, and I was thinking, when I had 12 district managers reporting to me, they had to come to my office for a full day and go through their budget, what they were requesting, why they were requesting it, where they were making cuts, where they were expenditures were going up. So I did a lot of that. And as a business owner, obviously, we had to budget every year. We're constantly looking at budgets and how do we prepare for the unexpected? What are the contingencies? If sales don't materialize, or if there's a hurricane, how do we account for that? And I think our county's done a good job right now in having money set aside so that when we had an emergency, which we just did, we could take care of it. So I've got a lot of experience there. It's not my favorite thing in the world to do, but I certainly know how to do it, and will be very much involved in that.
So I hope over the last 4 weeks that you've had a good opportunity to meet Denny Bucher, why he's running for Craven County Commissioner, District 7, and hopefully you've got some great insight on what he can do for our county. So our challenge for you is to get out and vote, and when you do vote, vote for this man right here. Would you like closing words to all the people out there?
Yeah, I think my final comments would be that if you vote for me, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I will work hard. I will put my experience and my background to work in the county environment, and I will be accessible. I will be reliable. I'll be available. And whatever you hear me say is what I will do. And I think I told you I'll repeat it again, the difference between a politician and a leader. A politician tells people what they want to hear. A leader tells people what they need to hear, even if they don't want to hear it. And I consider myself a leader, not a politician.
Thanks for watching. Share this, follow, like, and don't forget to get out and vote.